They were canceled before their time, crushed by ruthless network time slots, or suppressed by corporate censors. Today, decades later, they remain locked away in studio vaults, unstreamed, unrestored, and completely forgotten by modern pop culture. Today, we are unlocking the archives to count down the top 10 forgotten 1970s television masterpieces that desperately deserve a modern revival. We are uncovering backstage wars, network sabotage, near-fatal incidents, and future-A-list Oscar winners whose earliest triumphs were erased from history. Before we power up the broadcast transmitter, make sure to subscribe to @Kambaujai TV on YouTube and follow our official Facebook page right now for your weekly masterclass in archival television history, lost media investigations, and untold Hollywood lore. Grab your TV guide. Let's step onto the soundstage.
If you don't want me to do it, I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to cut it off. You don't want me to do it, right? Yes, you do. You don't? What do you want?
Number 10. Arnie, CBS, 1970 to 1972. Herschel Bernardi was a titanic force of American stage and screen long before headlining Arnie. Born into a Yiddish theatrical family, Bernardi spent decades scraping by as a character actor, famously replacing Zero Mostel on Broadway as Tevye in the original run of Fiddler on the Roof, and earning Tony nominations for Zorba and Fiddler. When creator David Swift cast him as Arnie Nouveau, a lifelong, unpretentious loading dock worker at Continental Flange, who gets promoted overnight to corporate management, the series struck a subversive nerve. Arnie held onto his union card while navigating boardroom politics, balancing corporate absurdity with working-class dignity. Roger Bowen, famous as Ilt, Cole, Henry Blake in Robert Altman's classic feature film MASH 1970, played eccentric boss Hamilton Majors Jr., while Sue Ann Langdon co-starred as his grounded wife Lillian. In Season 1, Arnie aired Saturday nights as the direct lead-in to The Mary Tyler Moore Show, earning an Emmy Award nomination for Outstanding Comedy Series. However, backstage creative clashes quickly dismantled its momentum. CBS executives grew nervous that the show's focus on labor disputes and class divides was too politically sharp, leading them to meddle with the format in Season 2. The network dropped Dick Van Patten as the neighbor, added Charles Nelson Riley as an over-the-top TV chef named Randy Robinson, and bounced the show across various scheduling slots. When Norman Lear's revolutionary All in the Family debuted in 1971 and completely upended television realism, Arnie was caught in the middle and canceled in March 1972 after 48 episodes. Bernardi went on to earn legendary status, voicing the iconic Charlie the Tuna in long-running StarKist commercials and the Jolly Green Giant, while co-starring in Woody Allen's dramatic masterpiece, The Front 1976 Opposite Zero Mostel, and the hit film No Deposit, No Return 1976. Co-star Sue Ann Langdon won a Golden Globe Award for her role on the show, before starring in Brian De Palma's Blowout 1981, alongside John Travolta, and the comedy hit UHF 1989, starring Weird Al Yankovic.
And all the guys said it was the best game we ever played. Well, there you go, Coach. How's that for a testimonial?
Yeah, the boys really said that?
Number 9. Me and the Chimp, CBS, 1972. Before Gary Marshall revolutionized American pop culture with Happy Days and Laverne and Shirley, he created this high-concept domestic project alongside producing partner Thomas L. Miller. Ted Bessel, who had just spent 5 seasons starring as Donald Hollinger opposite Marlo Thomas on the smash hit series That Girl, 1966 to 1971, was cast as Mike Reynolds, a suburban California dentist whose family adopts Buttons, a mischievous chimpanzee who washed out of the NASA space program. Anita Gillette co-starred as his wife Liz. Behind the scenes on Stage 19, the production was plagued by on-set chaos. The chimpanzee, trained by Lou Schumacher and Bob Rydell, proved completely unpredictable during live filming. The animal frequently went off script, tearing up props, biting through stage lights, and wandering off the set, forcing Ted Bessel to improvise continuously while keeping cameras rolling. Bessel clashed with studio executives, arguing that working with an untrained primate was unsafe and turned subtle domestic humor into broad slapstick. The show was canceled after just 13 episodes in April 1972, but it served as Gary Marshall's sandbox for testing multi-camera physical timing. Marshall took the lessons learned on Stage 19 and launched iconic film and television blockbusters. Directing Pretty Woman 1990, The Princess Diaries 2001, and Beaches 1988, Ted Bessel transitioned into directing, helming the multi-Emmy winning variety hit The Tracy Ullman Show 1987 to 1990, which famously launched The Simpsons, winning a Primetime Emmy Award before his passing in 1996.
What am I supposed to say to a girl I haven't talked to in 3 years? Can I come over?
Number 8. Paul Sand in Friends and Lovers, CBS, 1974 to 1975. Paul Sand was a Broadway sensation, who won a Tony Award for Paul Sills' Story Theater and earned critical acclaim guest starring on The Mary Tyler Moore Show and The Carol Burnett Show. MTM Enterprises founders James L. Brooks and Alan Burns, the creative titans behind The Mary Tyler Moore Show, handcrafted a project specifically for him. Sand starred as Robert Dreyfuss, a shy double bass player for the Boston Symphony Orchestra, whose romantic clumsiness stood in stark contrast to his loud brother Charlie Michael Pataki and sharp sister-in-law Janice, played by Penny Marshall in one of her earliest regular roles. The writing staff was an all-star roster of legends: Lowell, Gans, Linda Bloodworth Thomason, and Mary Kay Place. CBS handed the show the most coveted time slot in television history, Saturday nights at 8:30 p.m., sandwiched directly between All in the Family at 8 o'clock and The Mary Tyler Moore Show at 9 o'clock. The series premiered as the 14th most watched program in America, pulling a massive 36% share by October. But behind the scenes, network executives panicked. Because All in the Family pulled an unprecedented 51% share, CBS felt that Sand's gentle, neurotic humor was losing millions of viewers who switched channels before Mary Tyler Moore started. In January 1975, after just 15 episodes, CBS pulled the plug, giving the slot to Norman Lear's The Jeffersons. Friends and Lovers became one of the first MTM productions ever canceled. Paul Sand pivoted to feature films, starring in the Oscar-nominated comedy The Hot Rock 1972 opposite Robert Redford, the satirical hit The Main Event 1979 starring Barbra Streisand, and Quantum Leap, while co-star Penny Marshall went on to star in Laverne and Shirley and direct Hollywood blockbusters like Big 1988 and A League of Their Own 1992.
Norman Lear, Hotel Baltimore, creator of All in the Family, Sanford and Son.
Number 7. Hot L Baltimore, ABC, 1975. By January 1975, producer Norman Lear was the undisputed king of television, dominating CBS with All in the Family, Sanford and Son, Maude, and Good Times. For his very first production on rival network ABC, Lear adapted Lanford Wilson's New York Drama Critics Circle Award, winning off-Broadway play The Hot L Baltimore, set inside a decaying, condemned hotel where the E on the neon sign had burned out. The ensemble featured society's forgotten underclass sex workers, undocumented immigrants, and one of the first openly gay couples in television history, played by Lee Berger and Henry Calvert. The cast featured future legends James Cromwell, Richard Macer, Conchata Farrell, and Charlotte Ray.
I was at the table reading, and Norman Lear was there. Mrs. Bellotti with her son Moose. And he just loved the way I did it.
The show sparked instant national controversy. ABC affiliates across the country, most notably the local affiliate in Baltimore, Maryland, refused to air the broadcast, deeming the subject matter offensive. ABC was forced to air a controversial content warning disclaimer before every single episode. Religious organizations launched advertiser boycotts, and the series finished 69th out of 84 shows, leading to its cancellation after 13 episodes in April 1975. Lear publicly described it as his first major television failure.
I love the show, and Eisner loved the show and knew early on, but what I wanted to say about him was he never missed a take.
However, its incredible cast achieved massive Hollywood stardom. James Cromwell became an international film icon, earning an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor in Babe 1995, and starring in neo-noir masterpiece LA Confidential 1997, The Green Mile 1999, and Succession 2018 to 2023. Conchata Ferrell became famous worldwide as the beloved housekeeper Berta on CBS's 2.5 Men, 2003 to 2015, earning 2 Primetime Emmy nominations, and starred in Edward Scissorhands 1990 and Erin Brockovich 2000. Charlotte Rae went on to star as Mrs. Garrett in the legendary long-running hits Different Strokes and The Facts of Life.
It was a sacrifice well worth making.
I don't understand.
Number 6. Won the Rock's ABC 1975 to 1976. Adapted from the celebrated British comedy series Porridge by original writers Dick Clement and Ian Lafreniere, On the Rocks was set inside the fictional Ala Mesa minimum security prison. Jose Perez, a distinguished Puerto Rican stage actor from New York who had performed with the New York Shakespeare Festival, starred as Hector Fuentes, a streetwise inmate who used his wits to maintain human dignity behind bars. The ensemble included Hal Williams, Rick Hurst, Mel Stewart, and comedy veteran Tom Poston as the bumbling guard Mr. Sullivan. ABC paired it directly with Barney Miller under the shared marketing tagline, "Funny Cops and Funny Robbers." Perez was deeply passionate about the series, taking the role specifically to humanize incarcerated men following the real-world 1971 Attica prison riots. However, the production faced intense scrutiny from network censors, who regularly gutted scripts to prevent the show from addressing systemic prison reform, racial profiling, and inmate labor abuse. Despite pulling solid critical reviews and airing 24 episodes, ABC abruptly canceled the series in May 1976. The cast went on to conquer film and television. Tom Poston became a comedy legend, starring as George Utley on Newhart 1982 to 1990, earning 3 Primetime Emmy nominations and appearing in hit films like Christmas with the Cranks 2004 and The Princess Diaries 2004. Hal Williams went on to star as the beloved patriarch Lester Jenkins on the smash hit series 227 1985 to 1990, alongside Marla Gibbs, and appeared in Clint Eastwood's Oscar-winning film The Rookie 1990 and the action blockbuster Flight of the Intruder 1991. Rick Hurst became famous as Deputy Cletus Hogg in The Worldwide Phenomenon, The Dukes of Hazzard 1979 to 1985, and starred in The Karate Kid Part 3 1989.
Situation, and I laugh. Not a ha-ha-ha laugh, but nonetheless a laugh. An inexcusable laugh.
You're starting to ramble.
Number 5. The Tony Randall Show, ABC, CBS, 1976 to 1978. Tony Randall was an American icon who had just spent 5 seasons playing the fastidious Felix Unger on The Odd Couple 1970 to 1975, opposite Jack Klugman, winning a Primetime Emmy Award. MTM Enterprises crafted a sophisticated vehicle tailored to his sharp comedic persona, Judge Walter Franklin, a widowed Philadelphia judge balancing courtroom chaos with raising 2 teenage children. The brilliant supporting cast included Alan Ann McLeary, Barney Martin, Rachel Roberts, Hans Conried, and Diana Muldaur. Despite intelligent writing from future powerhouse producers Gary David Goldberg, who later created Family Ties, and Hugh Wilson, who created WKRP in Cincinnati, ABC struggled to market the witty, urbane series. MTM head Grant Tinker believed in the production so strongly that when ABC canceled it after season 1, he pulled off a rare Hollywood maneuver, moving the entire production to CBS for season 2. Near the end of its run, a young, unknown stand-up comedian named Michael Keaton made one of his earliest television appearances as a night school law student. However, CBS scheduled it against tough competition, quietly canceling it after 44 episodes in March 1978. The guest star, Michael Keaton, became an Oscar-nominated global superstar, headlining Tim Burton's blockbuster cinematic masterworks Beetlejuice, 1988, Batman 1989, and Batman Returns 1992, and earning an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor in Birdman 2014 while starring in Spotlight 2015 and Spider-Man Homecoming 2017. Supporting actor Barney Martin became world-famous as Jerry Seinfeld's father, Morty Seinfeld, on the cultural phenomenon Seinfeld, 1991 to 1998. Tony Randall dedicated his later life to the arts, founding the National Actors Theater on Broadway before his passing in 2004.
I want you to get on the horn, call every hospital and you know where.
You mean the more?
Number 4. Carter Country ABC, 1977 to 1979. Capitalizing on the 1976 election of Georgia native Jimmy Carter to the White House, Carter Country was set in the fictional small town of Clinton Corners, Georgia. Victor, French, beloved worldwide as Isaiah Edwards on Little House on the Prairie, 1974 to 1983, starred as Chief Roy Moby, the well-meaning police chief. Kane Holliday co-starred as Sergeant Curtis Baker, an educated, razor-sharp black officer from New York City who joins the rural Southern Department. The ensemble included Richard Paul, Verney Watson, Butch Cook, and Harvey Vernon as Deputy Jasper DeWitt Jr., an undercover officer tracking local extremist groups. The New York Times hailed the premiere as Barney Miller Down Home, praising its willingness to tackle racial integration, small-town politics, and Southern culture with warmth and sharp wit. The series featured early guest appearances by future superstars Melanie Griffith and Kyle Richards. However, backstage friction grew over scheduling shifts and budget cuts from ABC, leading to its cancellation after 2 seasons and 44 episodes in August 1979. Victor French returned to his legendary collaboration with Michael Landon, co-starring as Mark Gordon in the beloved hit series Highway to Heaven, 1984 to 1989, while directing episodes of Little House on the Prairie and Gunsmoke. Kane Holliday achieved major television stardom, landing the CO starring role of Tyler Hudson alongside Andy Griffith in the smash hit legal drama Matlock 1986 to 1990, and starring in the action hit G.I. Joe the movie 1987. Verney Watson became a celebrated television fixture, starring in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air 1990 to 1996 as Will Smith's mother Viola, The Big Bang Theory, and winning 2 Daytime Emmy Awards for General Hospital. Number 3. Holmes and Yo-Yo ABC 1976. Created by Leonard Stern, the legendary producer behind the smash hit espionage parody Get Smart 1965 to 1970, and directed in several episodes by John Astin, famous as Gomez Addams. On The Addams Family, Holmes and Yo-Yo was a wild technological premise. Richard B. Scholl played Detective Alexander Holmes, an accident-prone cop who keeps injuring human partners. The department secretly assigns him Gregory Yo-Yo Yoyanovich, John Shook, a 425-pound android prototype with a photographic memory, chest-mounted computer components, and an internal camera in his nose that prints Polaroid photos. Behind the scenes on Stage 32 at Universal, the physical special effects were a mechanical nightmare. John Shook had to wear a heavy, uncomfortable fiberglass chest, rig wired with functioning electronics, blinking lights, and mechanical door flaps that repeatedly short-circuited under hot studio lights, shocking the actor during scene takes. Despite the sci-fi slapstick humor and strong comic chemistry between Shook and Scholl, ABC pulled the show after only 11 episodes in December 1976, airing 2 leftover episodes in August 1977. The premise proved to be a decades-early blueprint for major cinematic hits, like RoboCop 1987, and television hits like Almost Human 2013. John Shook built an extraordinary career in Hollywood, starring as Sheen Da, Charles Ian Wright on Macmillan and Wife 1971 to 1977, alongside Rock Hudson, playing the Klingon ambassador in the monumental feature films Star Trek IV, The Voyage Home 1986, and Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country 1991, and starring in Robert Altman's cinematic masterworks M.A.S.H. 1970 and McCabe and Mrs. Miller 1971.
What are you doing in my closet? Closet? Gee, guys, I told you this wasn't a bathroom.
Number 2. Making it ABC 1979. In early 1979, legendary music impresario Robert Stigwood, the mogul who produced the multi-million-selling movie blockbusters Saturday Night Fever 1977 and Grease 1978, partnered with TV titan Gary Marshall to bring the disco phenomenon to network television. David Naughton, who was already famous nationwide as the charismatic singing and dancing star of the iconic Dr. Pepper commercials, was cast as Billy Minucci, an Italian-American youth from Passaic, New Jersey, who works at an ice cream parlor by day and dominates the dance floor at the Inferno Disco by night. Ellen Travolta, sister of John Travolta, co-starred as his mother. The show was a victim of historical bad timing. By the spring of 1979, the anti-disco backlash across America had erupted into a cultural firestorm, culminating in the infamous Disco Demolition Night at Chicago's Comiskey Park in July 1979. Viewers rejected the show's dance floor aesthetic, and ABC canceled it after just 9 episodes in March 1979. However, the show produced one of the most astonishing music footnotes in history. The theme song, "Makin' It," written by Freddie Perrin and Dino Fakaris, who wrote "I Will Survive," and sung by David Naughton himself, became a massive global smash hit. The song climbed to number 5 on the Billboard Hot 100 in July 1979, 4 months after the show had already been canceled, and was featured in the Bill Murray comedy blockbuster Meatballs, 1979. Director John Landis saw Naughton in the Dr. Pepper commercials and Makin' It, immediately casting him as the lead in the legendary, Oscar-winning horror comedy masterpiece, An American Werewolf in London 1981. Naughton became an international cult icon, starring in Midnight Madness, 1980, Hot Dog, the movie 1984, and The Sleeping Car 1990.
Mitzi, I've come back to you.
I don't care. I should have torn your lungs out.
Mitzi, to Earth.
Number 1. The Betty White Show, CBS, 1977 to 1978. Following her back-to-back Primetime Emmy Award-winning run as the delightfully devious Sue Ann Nivens on The Mary Tyler Moore Show, 1973 to 1977, MTM Enterprises rewarded Betty White with her own hand-tailored headlining vehicle. Created by Emmy-winning writers Ed Weinberger and Stan Daniels, White starred as Joyce Whitman, a veteran actress who lands the starring role on a cheesy police drama called Undercover Woman, a vicious parody of Angie Dickinson's hit series Policewoman. Joyce is thrilled until she discovers the show is being directed by her snide, sarcastic ex-husband, John Elliott, played with biting wit by John Hillerman. The supporting cast was a masterclass in comedic excellence. White's real-life, close friend Georgia Engel Georgette, from The Mary Tyler Moore Show, played her naive roommate Mitzi. Karen Kay played her glamorous co-star. Barney Phillips played veteran actor Fletcher Huff, and Charles Cyphers played Hugo, her oversized male stunt double. The show within a show format allowed the writers to deliver sharp satires of network corporate greed, budget cuts, and television vanity. However, CBS subjected the series to programming sabotage. The network scheduled The Betty White Show on Monday nights directly opposite 2 of the highest-rated juggernauts on television, ABC's Monday Night Football and the NBC Monday Night Movie. Viewership never had a chance to build against the sports titan, and CBS canceled the brilliant production after just 14 episodes in January 1978. Betty White's legendary career was only just beginning. 7 years later, White landed the role of Rose Nyland in the monumental global phenomenon, The Golden Girls, 1985 to 1992, winning another Primetime Emmy Award, and cementing her status as an American national treasure. She went on to star in Hot in Cleveland, 2010 to 2015, the comedy blockbuster The Proposal 2009 with Sandra Bullock and Ryan Reynolds, and hosted Saturday Night Live in 2010 to record ratings. Co-star John Hillerman became a global star playing Jonathan Quayle Higgins III on the iconic detective series Magnum, PI 1980 to 1988, opposite Tom Selleck, winning an Emmy and a Golden Globe, while Georgia Engel continued her celebrated career in Everybody Loves Raymond and The Office. The 1970s was a golden era of risk-taking, brilliant satire, and unmatched creative daring. But behind the legendary titles that survived in syndication lies an entire graveyard of forgotten masterpieces, shows that dared to push boundaries, break formats, and challenge audiences, only to be swept away by scheduling wars and network politics. Now we want to hear directly from you, our community of television historians, archivists, and pop culture fans. Which of these 10 forgotten gems surprised you the most? If you had the power to bring back just one of these lost productions for a complete digital restoration and streaming release, Which one are you picking, Hot L Baltimore, The Betty White Show, or Holmes and Yo-Yo? Drop your detailed thoughts in the comments section below. Right now I read through the responses, and the most insightful, detailed analysis will be pinned right to the very top of the comment section. Before you tune out, make sure to hit that subscribe button, subscribe to Ada Kamadal TV on YouTube, and follow our official Facebook page right now to never miss our deep dives, lost media investigations, and behind-the-scenes histories of your favorite classic television shows and legendary Hollywood moments. Thank you for watching, keep your antennas tuned, and we will see you in the next documentary masterclass.